Hello, I'm going to use today's trade as the lesson, if you like, in how I use the indicators on the lower time frames to enter the trade. Now, a couple of things today. There was news expected at 9:30, so I didn't want to be in a trade anywhere after about 7-8 o'clock because I guessed it would be sideways until 9:30. Excuse me. Pound news, retail price index, I think, or something like that. So it was red, and it was on here. So it was telling me what I needed to know about the markets, really, that to expect a bit of sideways motion. So anyway, on the H1 chart, we've got a trigger this morning. As you can see, I've got quite a few charts open here. This is what I do normally, go through them all and look to see whether we've had a trigger. And the trigger happened at the price closed above the 10 MA at the close of the 6 o'clock candle. So at 7 AM, I've put my vertical on. As I think I said, I had to go out, so I couldn't trade the first trade of the day today. Therefore, I had to wait until after 9:30, after the news had been announced, and then follow the indicator. So 7 AM, drop down, and this is interesting. This is worth a mention as well. If you're in a trade between 6 and 7, always try and be out by about 6:45. We noticed that, me and a load of fellow traders, that for whatever reason, and you don't forget these things, I'm telling you, because if you're in a trade and you've got you've got 5 or 6 or 7 pips, and you're waiting for your 8th pip, and then you see it go back and not hit your target for another, in this case probably about 10 5-minute candles, so an hour, it's very annoying. So just a little heads up, get yourself out of the trade by about 6:45 at the latest if you're anywhere near your target. Even if you're not, it's worth closing, because you will have a pullback and you'll probably get a second, well, you will get more than likely 90% of the time a second go at the cherry, if you're with the higher time frame direction, of course. If you're not and you were just chancing your arm, then don't attempt to get back in. But as we say, the charts don't lie. If it's telling you the higher time frame is moving in that direction, unless it tells you it's changed to the opposite direction, then that's what you should be expecting to do. But I digress. So we've had the alert on the hour. We drop down to the 5-minute. The alert, and we wait for the the green light, if you like, to enter, and that happened. For whatever, I don't know why these print at all different levels, but that one was hiding down below the bottom of the chart there. We got the contra alert at this point here. This candle was the close, there it is there. That's the new opening candle. What I tend to do is either use the 1 minute, or I just enter at the break of the high of the trigger candle, which was there. So at that level would have been when I considered entering, and as you can see, it's moved up from 31 all the way up to 55, which was a good 24 pips, less the spread, which is 1 pip, or 2 pips probably at that time in the morning. Excuse me. We always divide that by 10, so that's 1.1, and so forth, if you didn't realise that already. And that's it. So there was a good 20 pips, 18 pips if you take the spread off of potential profit there this morning. Doesn't sound a huge amount, but I'm only after 7 or 8 pips, and so that's fine. And the drawdown side of things was in the region of 6 or 7 pips by the looks of it. So I would have had a 15 to 20 pip stop on there had I put the stop on, but I wasn't in that trade, obviously. Now, because I couldn't be, I think I said that earlier in the video, I had to run some errands. So then when I came back at about 9 o'clock, as I mentioned in the earlier part of the video, I expected it to be sideways, and it was sideways until the news, which was at this point here. There. So I wanted to be considering entering the trade after the news. Well, we'd had the 5-minute trigger prior to the news. That doesn't really matter. Using the 1 minute, like I said before, I would have just traded the high of that 5-minute alert candle, the break of it. So the alert candle was that one there. Very doubtful you'd have a pullback of much interest, because the news would negate that. So it's just a question of following the rules. And the rules were, I was waiting for long. The rules were, I was waiting for the news to finish, because obviously what can happen, it could have the news could have caused the banks to drive down the price for whatever reason, and you don't want to be in the wrong direction at that stage, in i.e. long. Why suffer the drawdown? Just trade the break of that that high. So that was the high there, 44, and any break of that was it when I entered. I can put my trade on there actually. That's it. I don't know whether you knew, but you can just drag and drop the order number onto the chart, and as you can see, my entry was that candle there. It broke through the high of that M5, and then took profit. I felt this would go further than the 25. I needed it to actually, so it was a question of needing to, and I would have stopped myself out. I didn't put a hard stop on this, but I would have just closed the trade had it started to trend back down. But that's it. So H1 signal, drop down, use the M5 for entry, and you know, generally I use the high of the M5 trigger candle, as I mentioned earlier, as the entry level. Okay, that's it, simple as that. Thanks for watching.